everyone. It's March 30, 2012. I'm Dwight Schmuck. This is the Schmuck Look. Holy hot shit, Batman. The year is almost a quarter over, and what have we learned? Probably next to nothing. I want to read something I got cut out of the Brattleboro Reformer yesterday, just for this purpose, because it has to do with a teenage girl. I'm not going to give her name, but she's 17. Oh, where have we heard that age recently? Oh yeah, that's right. The kid in Florida who got shot. You know, a local teenager is facing up to 5 years after she allegedly tampered with witness list and fled the scene of underage drinking party. 5 years for a kid's mistake. She's 17, and the tampering with the witness list was she found the cops were there. She wouldn't give her name or submit to a breathalyzer. Other people identified her as so-and-so. Well, the dumbass cops left their paperwork laying on the kitchen table. She found a black magic marker. Duh, it's in a home. Okay, it ain't her home, but magic markers are like anything else. They're usually laying around somewhere. I don't have any. I use pens. But she just crossed out her name and the information concerning her. That's your big tampering with a witness list. Who, ha, and a rah, rah, rah. Now, she's 17. She's 17. She didn't want to give her name, obviously, because she didn't want to go home and get a spanking from Daddy. You know, Daddy's little girl, perfect little angel, so Mom and Dad think. And she's out drinking with the kids, you know, because there's only 2 or 3 at this party. According to the story, there were only a couple over the legal drinking age. So we have a bunch of high school kids got together and got somebody who was 21, stupid them, to go buy the booze and bring it back to the house, and everybody's having a party, and the neighbors called the cops because of noise and yada yada yada. You know how it goes. Kids making parties make noise. It's a mistake. But she's up facing a $5,000 fine and up to 5 years in prison for Xing out her name, her information, the information that was given about her. She didn't give it, other people did. But again, it's a 17-year-old mistake. Is it really worth $5 grand? Well, you know, you got to penalize her, sure, so they'll talk it down to, you know, $1 grand or so. And the 5 years in jail, well, they'll, you know, plea bargain that too. They're going to scare the shit out of the girl. She's already pled not guilty, by the way. So there's an expense, the lawyer and all that stuff. We're going to scare the hell out of this girl, maybe make her, you know, straighten up a little bit. But she's 17. 17-year-old kids make mistakes. Just like the 17-year-old kid in Florida made the mistake of walking through Zimmerman's neighborhood and then, you know, realizing he's being followed, tried to cut out, get away, only he deadened himself in a fenced-in backyard. That was another 17-year-old mistake. And for God's sakes, and it's probably a good thing that the girl wasn't, well, they didn't say, but I'm going to assume that she wasn't wearing a hoodie, but, you know, it was the cops, so they didn't shoot her. When she ran from the scene into the woods, where there are no fences, she just boogied. But other people re-identified her as so-and-so, and she lives at such and such, and, you know how it goes. 17-year-old kids make mistakes, people. You were 17 once yourself. I'm pretty damn sure you made mistakes. I know I did. We all do. That's part of being 17. Is it worth getting shot for? Hell no. Is it worth a $5,000 fine? No. 500, I could see that. No problem. Take one of the zeros away. Oh yeah, we got to pay for this and we got to pay for that. So, you know, this is a revenue enhancement, is what they're doing here. $5,000 fine. Kiss my butt. She was drinking underage and didn't want to, you know, get in trouble for that. she made a mistake. Okay, you nail her for the underage drinking, and you nail her a little extra fine on top of it for, fleeing the scene, etc., etc. But to give the girl a felony conviction, my God, people, come on. We all make mistakes. I was watching a thing on the Young Turks yesterday. This congressman got up from Florida, I believe, where Trayvon Martin is from, and he was setting about giving his little 2 or 3 minute talk, but he took his suit coat off, and oh my God, he had a hoodie on. And when he put the hood up over his head, the Republicans went batshit because, oh, you can't wear a hat in Congress. It rule such and such and part such and such of that rule, no hats. The guy was making a point. The Speaker of the House, who's got control, kept slamming his gavel and saying, the member will, what was the word now? I can't remember. For the moment, I just can't remember. But he was telling the guy, you will shut up, and the guy wasn't listening, so we just kept pounding the gavel. And finally, the member is suspended, da-da-da-da. No, that was the first one, the member will suspend. Well, I like to suspend my member from time to time, too, but, I don't usually talk about it in public. And then they stopped him and, threw him out of the off the floor and yada, yada, yada. But he got his point too. Now, the amusing part of it was he was quoting things from the Bible, which, the neocons were having shit fits because he had his hoodie up. But at the same time, these are all alleged Bible thumpers. Oh, we believe in the Word of God. So much so, we're telling this guy to shut the fuck up. Why? Because he's quoting the Word of God. Now, excuse me here, but how does this make any sense? But since they're adults making mistakes, well, we don't shoot them or, fine them $5,000 or threaten them with 5 years in prison. With the cameras on, we'll just keep slamming the gavel. The member will suspend, the member will suspend, the member will suspend. And when he didn't suspend, dear. Well, we've all had our FaceTime on TV now. You simpering asses. Instead of dealing with real problems for real people, what are you doing? The member will suspend. And somehow I just think that mistake is worth a shitload more than $5,000 for someone's life for making 17-year-old mistakes. I'm not talking about a mistake from 17 years ago, although both of them could have been. The thing is, 17-year-olds' mistakes kind of go hand in hand. You don't shoot them, and you don't give them felonies for making simple little mistakes. Big mistakes that you give them a felony conviction for: holding up a store at gunpoint, that kind of thing, kidnapping, yes. Even murder, sure, no problem. Theft, murder, kidnapping, rape, yes, definitely felony convictions. Underage drinking, fleeing the scene, and crossing out your name with a magic marker. Really, folks? I realize the state budgets being what they are, and federal aid being cut to shit because the neocons just can't stand that the ordinary man gets some money back when that could go to the corporate whores who shell out to them for their campaigns. Who do you think is paying millions and hundreds of millions of dollars for these campaigns? It ain't you, it ain't me, it's the corporate whores. And that's what they are. You know it and I know it. Now we've got legislative whores going to the corporate whores, the pimps. Well, give me some. I'd like to give them some. Here's a mistake. Here, have another one. There's your mistake. And they're both older than 17. Come put my ass in jail for it. Kids make mistakes. Adults ought to know better. I'm Dwight Schmuck. That's the Schmuck Look. Peace out there.